someone knocking at your window after midnight, don't open it. No matter how familiar the voice sounds. I wish I knew that rule before last summer, because my best friend is dead because of it. My name's Daniel. I'm 18, and last summer I worked part-time at a gas station on the edge of town. The place was in the middle of nowhere, just a stretch of highway, a flickering neon sign, and behind it, a dark forest that everyone in town said was haunted. I never believed the stories. Ghosts, demons, missing people, just rumors to keep kids away from sneaking into the woods. But in June, something happened that made me realize some legends are warnings. That night, I was covering a late shift with my best friend Mark. He had the same job as me, and we always joked about how we were wasting our summer. The station closed at midnight, but we always stayed an extra half hour to clean up. It was around 12:40 a.m. when Mark froze, staring at the glass door. "Dude, tell me you saw that," he whispered. I looked up. For a split second, I swear I saw someone standing at the edge of the forest across the street. A tall, pale figure, completely still, like a statue. Then, nothing. "Probably just your reflection," I told him. But deep down, I wasn't so sure. We packed up, locked the doors, and started walking home. The road back to our neighborhood cut straight past the forest. Normally, it was a 10-minute walk. That night, it felt endless. About halfway, we heard it. Tap, 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 like fingernails scratching against metal. Mark's head snapped up. "It's coming from the bus stop." The bus stop was just a glass shelter with an old bench inside. As we passed, I felt my stomach drop. On the glass facing us were 3 long scratch marks, fresh ones. Mark pulled out his phone flashlight and shined it inside. Empty. We laughed it off, trying to act tough, but neither of us said a word the rest of the way. That night at exactly 3:07 a.m., I woke up to knocking. Tap, tap, tap. At first, I thought it was my door, but when I opened my eyes, the sound was coming from my bedroom window. I froze. I live on the 2nd floor. No tree branches nearby, no balcony. Just an open drop to the ground. The knocking came again, louder, and then a voice. "Danny, open up. It's me, Mark." I sat up straight. My heart was pounding. It did sound like Mark, exactly like him. But my phone buzzed at that moment. It was a text from Mark. "Bro, are you awake? Something's at my window." The voice outside my window kept begging me to let it in. Meanwhile, Mark was blowing up my phone, saying the same exact thing was happening at his house across town. 2 different houses, same voice, same knocking, same time. I didn't sleep that night. Neither did Mark. We showed up to work the next evening with dark circles under our eyes. The gas station lights flickered as if they knew what happened. And the figure? We saw it again, standing just beyond the tree line, watching. That's when we made the biggest mistake of our lives. We decided to go into the woods to see what it wanted. We stood at the edge of the forest, the dim glow of the gas station behind us flickering like it was warning us to stop. But Mark was the stubborn one. "If we don't figure this out, it's never gonna leave us alone," he muttered. I didn't want to go in. Every instinct in my body screamed at me to stay away. But when I glanced across the street, I saw it again, the figure. Tall, pale, motionless. Only this time, it lifted its arm and pointed directly at us. That was enough to push Mark forward. I cursed under my breath and followed. The forest swallowed us whole. The sound of the highway disappeared, replaced by a suffocating silence. Not even crickets, just the crunch of leaves beneath our shoes. We walked for what felt like hours, though it couldn't have been more than 15 minutes. That's when we found it. An old wooden shack, rotting, tilted like it had been abandoned for decades. Mark grinned nervously. "Dude, it's like we're in a horror movie." I didn't laugh, because the second I saw the shack, I realized something. The scratches on the bus stop glass, they were carved into the wooden door. Long, jagged claw marks, fresh. We pushed the door open and a foul stench hit us like a punch to the face. The air inside was heavy, damp, and rotten. The shack was empty except for one thing, a mirror. It stood in the center of the room, taller than both of us, the glass so clean it looked out of place in all that decay. Mark walked right up to it, holding his phone flashlight. Creepy, but just a mirror. But it wasn't, because when Mark shined the light on his reflection, it didn't move. I swear to you, his reflection stood perfectly still while Mark raised his arm and waved. We both froze. And then the reflection smiled. Not a nervous smile like Mark's, a wide, toothy grin that stretched too far across its face. We bolted. Didn't even shut the door. Just ran through the trees like hell itself was chasing us. We didn't stop running until the station lights came back into view. Neither of us said a word. We didn't need to. We both saw it. That night, I thought maybe it was a hallucination. Maybe we were tired. Maybe the gas fumes messed with our heads. But when I got home, my little sister was waiting for me in the hallway. She was pale, trembling. "Danny," she whispered, "why were you standing outside my window?" My blood turned to ice. "I wasn't," I stammered. Her lips quivered. "But it looked just like you." The next night, I didn't want to go to work. Neither did Mark. But we needed the money. We kept our heads down, cleaned up fast, and locked the doors earlier than usual. But as we left, walking past the forest again, something changed. This time, the figure wasn't standing still. It was walking, slowly, step by step, following us from just inside the tree line. We ran the rest of the way home. At 3:07 a.m., the knocking returned, louder this time. Angrier. "Danny, it's me. Let me in." But this time, it wasn't just the voice. I heard scratching, long claws dragging across the glass. My phone buzzed. It was Mark again. "Bro, I can't take this anymore. It's outside my window, smiling. Please come over." I wanted to. But something in me whispered that was the trap, and I was right. The next day, Mark didn't show up for work. At first, I thought he overslept, but when I went to his house, his mom was crying on the porch. His window was shattered from the inside. His bed empty. The cops searched the woods, the streets, everywhere. No trace of him. But I knew where he went. The shack. That night, I went back alone. I don't know what possessed me, but I couldn't let my best friend just vanish. The shack looked the same. The scratches, the smell, the mirror. But this time, the reflection wasn't me. It was Mark. He stood there in the glass, eyes wide, pounding his fists against the surface, like he was trapped behind it. "Help me!" his mouth screamed, but no sound came out. I reached forward. My fingers brushed the surface, cold, too cold. And then, his reflection stopped screaming. It tilted its head, slowly, and smiled that same impossible grin. I stumbled back, realizing too late. That wasn't Mark begging me. That was the thing wearing his face. I ran home and locked every door, every window. But at 3:07 a.m., the knocking started again. This time, it wasn't just at my window. It was at every window, every door, surrounding my house. "Danny, let me in." Dozens of them. Mark's voice, my sister's voice, my own voice. I covered my ears and prayed for morning. When sunlight finally came, the noises stopped. The windows were covered in scratches, deep ones, like claws had raked the glass all night. That was 3 weeks ago. I quit my job. My sister doesn't talk to me anymore. She says I've changed, that sometimes when I walk past a mirror, she sees me smiling when I shouldn't be. I don't sleep. I can't. Because every night I hear the knocking start again. And tonight, it's different. Tonight, the knocking isn't at the window. It's coming from inside the house. If you ever hear someone knocking after midnight, don't open it, because once you do, you're not you anymore.